don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
All right, everybody, good evening and welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Full Throttle Powersports of Lowell. I'm Kevin Hastings along with Dennis Davis tonight. If you're looking at our scoreboard here, black scores are finals. We're going to get some of those updated here in just a few minutes, but we do got a few finals across the board. We're going to get live on the radio here in just a few minutes as soon as Brent and Jeff finish up their wrap-up of the Shelby Crest game. First person we're going to talk to tonight is David Potter and Scott Tudor from the Lincoln County game. Dennis, West Lincoln wins in overtime, 27-21 in overtime over Fred T. Ford. Fred T. Ford had a 37-game losing streak.
But they made them sweat.
And they almost pulled it off tonight up at in the Battle of Hog Hill against the West Lincoln Rebels. That's what they call it up there. So for you folks there listening and watching here on the on KTC Broadcasting, I know nobody's on the radio right now. We're not on the radio. We're just on YouTube right now. So a lot of these scores that we do have some finals, like I said. The Cherville game, that's a wild one. We're going to have to talk to Chip and the guys about that. Big fight on the field, some ejections. We're going to figure out exactly what happened out there. Dennis, I'm going to update scores while we do this. I'll try to. Let's see. I'm going to bring this over here for you, and then we'll so you can see. And then if you'll give everybody the scores that you see right now, while I'm going through there, I'll try to get some updated as we go through them.
Well, let's just start over here with the score that you just mentioned in a very, very tightly contested game tonight. Last second win, West Lincoln Rebels 27, Fred T. Ford Tigers 21. So congratulations to the Rebels continuing their streak. Not so good streak for the Ford Tigers, as you pointed out, a long losing streak. We have a final score on the Statesville Greyhounds and the North Iredell Vikings. It's not what you would expect. It's a low-scoring game. It's 6-0 Statesville. That's 6-0, folks. That's not a mistake. That is a final score, not a first quarter score. And we have a final score. If those of you that are watching on YouTube, Tom and Matt doing the Burns Kings Mountain game, the final score there was Kings Mountain 41, Burns 20. So a win for Kings Mountain tonight. And a game just completed tonight over at Sid Bryson Stadium. You had the Crest Chargers 27, the Shelby Golden Lions 14. So another win for Crest. That helps the record a little bit. Crest is catching up with Shelby. I'm looking to see what the final record would be between those teams. Let's see. That was their 56th time that they've met in history. I don't see the record, but I know that it's close. It was like 30 wins for Shelby and maybe 24. I think this makes it 25 wins for Crest all time. So Shelby still has the lead in that series. Kevin, I think that's the only finals. Wait, here's one over here. We've got, let's see, Buford, South Carolina, and Highland Tech. Well, congratulations to the Highland Tech Rams on their winning streak.
2-0.
Two and-
Undefeated.
They undefeated Highland Tech Rams. They won tonight 8-7 over the Buford, South Carolina Yellow Jackets. So 8-7.
Couple other finals. Jefferson 21-0 over the South Carolina Spartans.
All right.
So Jefferson with a win. Final South Lake Christian 21-10 over Mountain Island Charter. So some of these 1As are getting finished up in our area. We're going to give you all the scores as soon as we get everything in. So guys, be patient with us. We'll get them up and going as soon as
That's why we have the post-game show, Kevin, so everybody can check in and get all the scores before they go to bed. Bye.
East Lincoln is a final, 52-14, Dennis.
52-14.
For the
Well, they continue their streak.
for the Mustangs, big win over the Lincoln Wolves there. Brevard and Irwin have combined for 98 points right now. It is currently 56-42 in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Fans got an interesting game no matter who wins that one. Those are always fun to watch. Still no scores on the Fort Bush. Well, last thing I got on Star Mountain was 42-0 over Fort Bush. So they're going to probably win. Hey, we haven't got a single score tonight on RS Central and Wilkes Central. Ashe County is now a final. 20-15 is the final over West Wilkes. So Ashe County over West Wilkes 20-15. All right, let's go over look at some of these maybe some 3A finals, if there's any finals going around here. Of course, Freedom, that's now a final, 26-7 over the Forest View Jaguars. So Freedom gets the win tonight over Forest View. High Brighton is now a final. That's 38-8. So update your scores
38-8, huh?
for High Brighton over West Caldwell, 38-8 tonight on that final. Murphy's now a final, 36-33. That's the last score we had. And the Bulldogs beat the Falcons by 3 on the road. Hendersonville still 40-6 over East Henderson right now. Tuscola now leads 28-6. That's not a final. That's the lead now. So if you folks watching at home, red scores are the active scores. Blacks are finals.
Well, it looks like Nadal's going to continue their streak, too. The bad one.
I'm not sure how long they've lost as well.
A bunch.
That Statesville 6-0 over South Iredale. What a close one there in that matchup. Smoky Mountain. Let's see. West Charlotte's now final. That's 41-0 over Cox Mill. So the Lions with 41 points on the board. All right, Brent, about time to wrap it up in there. Providence wins 56-27 over Hunter Huss. 56-27 Providence over Hunter Huss. Still looking for our Ashbrook West Mex score. Last thing we had was 7-0. Mooresville with a big 66-0 win over West Rowan tonight. Still the latest we've had in the Bessemer City game. Yellow Jackets now are up 30-10. Looks like they're pulling away from Avery County. So not a final yet, but pulling away. Cherville working on their final as well. They're up there and they got in a big old fight right before halftime. 48-12 is the listing on that final. So 48-12 for.
Is that a final?
Yep.
48-12.
That is the final on that one. We're missing, waiting on finals for a couple of those. Don't have anything on Community School of Davidson and Corvion Community. I'm not sure. Maybe they're not playing. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can find something on that one. But there's your scores so far, folks. The black scores are finals that we do have. Black scores are finals that we do have. We'll get them up and go in here in just a minute. We're going to talk to the Lincoln County Game of the Week, where West Lincoln won in overtime over Fred T. Ford. So we're going to have David and Scott call in on a minute as soon as Brent and Jeff wrap that up. Dennis. All right, Dennis, any comments on some of these finals that you're coming across? Anything going on?
Well, I had predicted in the pregame that Cherryville would lose 13-38, and actually it was 12-48.
It was in the neighborhood.
But I did not anticipate the fight.
Yeah.
So I don't know who won the fight. It might have been Cherryville won the fight. I can't tell.
Final, East Rutherford 62, Newton Conover 15.
Wow. Coach Russ has got it rolling up there now.
Got the offense going up there. That was a close game for a while, Dennis. Then all of a sudden, boom. Final for Bunker Hill. They lose tonight. First time they lost in the regular season in 2 years. 35-21 at Randleman. Not an easy opponent.
I'm so old, I remember when Kyle Petty was the quarterback for Randleman.
Watauga is a final 24-13 over Maiden. So Maiden falls at Watauga 13-24. Now, if they are, you said you think they're a 4A school, Dennis?
Yeah, Watauga.
So if they Maiden won't actually lose any points in the power poll, but give up a bunch of points on the board. So that'll probably hurt them a little bit as that goes. Still missing. If we got a zeros on them, folks, we don't got nothing. Haven't heard nothing absolutely on those games. I tell you what, while we're waiting for Brent to finish it up, I'm gonna go show a couple highlights here. I tell you what, Dennis, I'm gonna go down the hall and I got to end some broadcasts on our YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have to go down the hall to do it. I guess I do check it.
I'll give them the scores we've got, Kevin, while you run through that.
If you'll do that for me.
Okay, folks, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you all the final scores, and then I'm going to come back and give you the latest scores that we had, which are subject to change as we close out some of these games here. So let's take a look at these. We'll start over here with a game that we have a final on. The Mountain Heritage Cougars were playing the Robbinsville Black Knights tonight, and the Mountain Heritage Cougars defeated them 28-13. Excuse me. The Hayesville Yellow Jackets played the Andrews Wildcats tonight, and in a explosive game tonight, Andrews beat Hayesville 7-2. In another game tonight, it was the Lake Norman Charter Knights 24 and Christ the King 21. South Christian Eagles 21, Mountain Island Raptors tonight 10. Thomas Jefferson, congratulations on your victory tonight over the South Carolina Spartans, 21-0. The Highland Tech Rams defeated Beaufort, South Carolina Yellow Jackets tonight, 8-7. And the Blacksburg Wildcats finally put away the Cherryville Ironmen tonight, 48-12. The Watauga Pioneers over the Maiden Blue Devils tonight, 24-13. The West Wilkes Blackhawks over the Avery No, the Ashe County Huskies, or Ashe County Huskies over the West Wilkes Blackhawks tonight, 20-15. It was the High Brighton Panthers 38, the West Caldwell Warriors 8. It was the East Rutherford Cavaliers and Coach Rush taking a 62-15 win over the Newton Conover Red Devils. It was the Randleman Tigers defeating the Bunker Hill Bears for the first defeat for them. Randleman scored 35, Bunker Hill 21. It was the East Lincoln Mustangs 52, the Lincoln Wolves 14, West Lincoln 27, Fred T. Ford 21.
I want to show you something here, Dennis.
Go right ahead.
And this is for our viewers at home. Watch this. He gone. He gone. He gone.
On the night for both he and the Warriors, the latest of the long runs for the out of this.
So we've got live coverage right now, fourth quarter. Irwin and Brevard, 56-42 right here.
71 yards later.
And one thing I want to talk about, Dennis, with this, is isn't it amazing and awesome when the local schools want you to do broadcasts and allow you to do broadcasts? This is WLOS. I don't know exactly where they're located.
Asheville.
So is that the TV station in Asheville?
That's the TV station in Asheville.
So WLOS obviously allowed to do the ball games around here, and we're going to talk about this all in just a little bit about the situation and what all's going on with our broadcasts and what we can and what we can't do and who allows us to do what. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But right now you're watching Asheville, Irwin, and Brevard play.
There he goes.
On WLOS News 13. So maybe we should just, do these schools that want us to do them, that want us to come see them.
Well, Kevin, I don't understand the argument that some of these people in charge, I'll put it that way, make and say, oh, it hurts our attendance. It creates interest in your team. Oh, we didn't sell any hot dogs to those people at home. Yeah, but they also make contributions to the schools in many ways. They support your sales. They support your band. They support all these other things. This does nothing but boost community interest in your school and your program. And those who think otherwise, guess what? I had a fella tell me about a team he went to see their game last week, and he looked around on the home side, and he really was shocked to see how few people were attending that game. And it wasn't televised either. They just didn't turn out because they didn't have any interest. You see a game like this one tonight, you may want to go next week and see the Irwin Warriors.
Exactly.
Or the Brevard Blue Devils. It doesn't matter which side you're supporting. You say, hey, I saw that kid play, and I'd like to check him out in person. I'm going next week, and give them my $10 admission. And I have a friend that called me wanting to know, how come these games are not being televised? I said, well, the powers that be have decided they can't sell enough hot dogs and get enough admission fees if you're at home. And they said, yeah, but I had 4 seats for 40 years, and I'm old, and I can't find a parking space.
And they don't care about you.
I can't get in with my walker.
Are we on? Have they ended the show? It's on us? Well, then tell us. Let's go live. Quit playing commercials. Let's go. Oh, I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
We'll be back in a minute.
Well, I don't. So, okay, good deal.
Anyway, Kevin, you got people that live elsewhere.
Well, hold on, JP. I don't have your audio. I don't know if he knows that. All right, go ahead.
You got people that live elsewhere. You've got people that are handicapped.
Mm-hmm.
You've got people. I got a guy that rents from me. He recently had a bad accident. He can't he can't get out and travel around, but he's a fan. The only way he could see these games now is to watch them and create his interest. And when he gets better later in the year, then he can attend the games.
So, hey, JP, I don't have audio from you yet. Never mind, I do. All right, folks, we're going to switch over some audio, so just stay tuned real quick.
Thumb Wheelbarrow for only $69.99. Complete the job with a Rubbermaid 32-gallon trash can, now $27.99. And don't forget a box of trash can liners at $5.99. If you've got a painting project on your to-do list, Zinsser's Bullseye 123 Primer will get you started for just $28.99. Shop Bridges Hardware September specials at the corner of King and Chancellor Streets, downtown Kings Mountain.
And we welcome you back to the KC Broadcasting post-game show with Kevin and Dennis at the moment. And we all on.
Yep, welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Full Throttle Powersports of Lowell. We're going to go to straight. We've got to talk to what was the game of the night. And the folks do want to apologize for some of our technical difficulties out at this game. Up at Ford, we didn't have no internet signal up there hardly. And but either way, we did our best to cover the game. David and Scott were there to make sure that they saw everything that happened. 36 straight losses for Fred T. Ford. The Battle of Hog Hill tonight. They welcome West Lincoln into town, and they almost pull it off, folks. Almost pull it off. So I think we got David and Scott on the line. Is that true, JP?
That should be true.
Hey, David, you got us?
Y'all there?
Should be able to hear us. We're here.
All right, so basically, I'm just going to, instead of asking questions, just going to let you guys just tell everybody in the world what happened tonight in this game. So I'm just going to get out y'all's way, and you guys were there. You witnessed it. 27-21 overtime victory for the West Lincoln Rebels on the road. David and Scott.
Well, the battle for Hog Hill turned out to be an actual battle this year. This is a much improved Fred T. Ford team. They looked really good. First half, both teams only had the ball twice. They both drove for touchdowns. It was 14-14 at the half. Second half looked a whole lot different. I think both coaches went, hey, we're in a tight game. We're going to play it a little more conservative. We actually saw punts. We actually saw turnovers. So it got to where West Lincoln took the lead. 9:35 to go in the fourth quarter. Sean Blackburn with a 2-yard touchdown run around the right side. Jackson Young with a PAT. That made it 21-14. Ford got the ball at their own 37, drove down the field, scored a touchdown, 3-yard touchdown run by, what's his first name? Dante McElwain. Had 172 yards on the night. And so they brought in the quarterback to kick the extra point. They had tried for 2 all night, successful one time, unsuccessful the other. He hits a wobbler, but it was kind of spinning sideways in rotation, but it went through. And so that made it 21-21, and then the teams played for overtime, basically. So they get down to overtime. Fred T. Ford gets the ball first. They run it a couple times. They get 4th down and 5. West did a good job of bottling up McElwain in overtime. He'd been really slicing through the defense pretty well. And Dawson Mace tries to throw a pass into the end zone, throwing it back against himself, and is picked off by Parker Cochran. And so that ended their possession. Then West Lincoln got the ball on the 10, a 2-yard run by Keegan Bostic, got it to the 8-yard line, and then an 8-yard touchdown run by Bostic, and that was the game winner, 27-21. 37 in a row losses now for Fred T. Ford, but I've got to really feel that there's a victory coming for them soon. They have a bye next week, but then they're going to be playing one of the other bottom teams in the Western Foothills 3A because that conference is front-loaded. North Lincoln, East Lincoln, Statesville, and Hickory kind of play a round robin the first 2 weeks. So they'll be playing either North Iredell, West Iredell, or St. Stephen's. And if they play like they did tonight, they've got an excellent chance of getting a first win and breaking the losing streak.
David, that next week they're home against North Iredell, then at West Iredell, and then they got the gauntlet of Statesville East, North, and Hickory, and they finished the season at St. Stephen's to end the year.
From what I've heard, North Iredell is very beatable.
They usually are.
So they might get that next week then.
I'll tell you what, though, that student section will love it because that student section was heading towards the end zone and waiting for Ford to punch it in, and they were ready to jump on that field and celebrate this and finally end that losing streak.
I'm sure there would have been a Gatorade bucket for Coach Ramstewart to get their first victory. So, but that'll have to wait. But a valiant effort, really was.
Well, congratulations on the good, valiant effort for Ford, but I'm sure they want the big win. You just couldn't pull it. Who's your player of the game for West Lincoln?
Yeah, we've got several awards here we want to give out. Go ahead, Scott. I'll let you take it.
Yeah, we're kind of giving the overall award to Bostic. I mean, he kind of did it really on both sides of the ball, but was really instrumental there with punching it in the end zone. Ended up with 132 yards offensively, and of course scoring that winning touchdown in overtime. But I tell you what, they were both sides were exhausted. But by the time they got that overtime, real hard fought game tonight over there in Ford. And of course, the offensive player of the game was McElwain. He had all 3 touchdowns for Fred T. Ford, 172 total yards, 2 rushing, and then I hope the broadcast was working during that screen pass that they won. That it was well executed on 4th down for 25 yards.
It was ridiculous.
It was a beautiful play call there by Ford, and I think that was the one that put them up 14-7, if I remember correctly, in that first half. And they just had lots of momentum and looked fantastic there in the first half. Our sub of the game was McElwain there in the third quarter got a little cramped, and number 5 for Ford, J.J. Mason, came in and really didn't miss a beat for Ford on the offensive side. And so he came in as the Subway Boulder City sub of the game and did a great job. And then, of course, defensively, it was probably the hardest choice to make. The Western steer of Newton there for the defensive player of the game. I mean, there was defensive plays from so many players, but that interception there by Parker Cochran for West Lincoln in the extra time kind of gave that momentum, if there was any, to West Lincoln as they punched it in when they got the ball there in overtime. But it was a fantastic game on both sides. Nothing that we expected as we were
not at all
ready to broadcast.
No.
Well, that's what I was wondering. You got a 36-game losing streak, and you got a team that won by 50 the week before. To predict an overtime game, that sounds like a Vegas game right there, guys. So it sounds pretty exciting over at Ford tonight.
But Coach Ponder in the pregame interview said they weren't taking them lightly, or they were trying not to. I mean, I know they had the bye next week, but it was like, you got a team that's on the rise. They want to win. It's a rivalry game. The schools are only 9 miles apart. Anything can happen, and it almost did.
Well, next week we're going to talk about, for the folks, we had originally scheduled East Rutherford at North Lincoln, but with the Forest View East Lincoln game still in the first half, we may end up with that one. With folks who haven't made the final decision on that, we're going to let folks know on the internet. So follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We're going to figure out exactly how we're going to handle that the broadcast situation next week. East Lincoln won tonight though, 52-14 over Lincoln. And any thoughts on that one, fellas?
Not a surprise there. Lincolnton still got some issues to sort out. Quarterback from the game we saw at South Point. They looked a little better in the second half, but I'm not sure they got South Point's best defense at that point either, because it was like 28-0. East Lincoln, from what we saw, the 9 minutes, I mean, they marched it right down the field, got a turnover, punched it right in immediately. It's one of those teams where you give them turnovers, they're going to blow you out.
Well, David,
offensively,
go ahead.
Offensively, East Lincoln looked solid. So
yes,
I mean, they made a little bit of youth on the defensive side, but offensively they look pretty strong.
Well, you guys be careful going home. I want to thank you for everything you guys do. Next week we either have North at East Rutherford or East hosting Forest View once again on KTC Broadcasting. You guys have a good weekend.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you. You too.
Scott Tudor and David, part of their Lincoln County Game of the Week. West Lincoln wins 27-21 over the Ford Tigers in overtime. Ford's losing streak extends to 37 games there, Dennis. So not a better night than what they had in the past, but still want that win at some point, right?
So close, but yet so far away.
So we are going to. I do have some more scores up, but we're going to wait. Richard, we're going to talk to Richard Martin right now in just a second about this Thomas Jefferson game where the Jefferson Griffons won 21-0. We got Richard on the line, JP. Hey, Richard, you there?
Yeah, you got me?
Yep, we got you, Richard. So tell us a little bit about this Thomas Jefferson group getting their first win tonight, 21-0 over South Carolina.
Yeah, big win for Thomas Jefferson. I will go ahead and say this. It was not a pretty win. You see the 21-0 score. Thomas Jefferson did that despite having 7 turnovers in this game, 4 interceptions, 3 fumbles, but their defense was fantastic. They held South Carolina to negative 15 yards rushing and then just 9 yards passing, I believe. So it was a grinded-out type of victory. Of the game came on a fumble recovery in the end zone by Caleb Hill, and then Keaton Boyce, after having a great week last week, able to continue it. He had after having a 19-yard pass reception, he got a 3-yard run, and then a 24-yard touchdown reception in the fourth quarter, kind of iced it to make the 21-0 victory. This was all about defense, so that's why the best player of the game was the linebacker, David Magana. Yeah, David McDonough. He had 8 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, a sack, and blocked the punt that set up that last drive. So again, ugly win. I think, that's one of those, you won't look back and see it. I'm going to get that first win of the year.
Well, next, so Thomas Jefferson, for you Thomas Jefferson fans, I pull up the schedule so you guys can exactly know if you can start a win streak and what I was going on here. Next week, you got Bonnie Cone Academy. They lost to Highland Tech last week or on Tuesday, so might have a chance for a 2-game win streak, and then you got to travel to Bessemer City for the Griffons and the Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets up right now 36-10 at Avery County. Next week, we'll have, I think, RS Central on the schedule. Is that what we got, Richard?
Yeah, there'll be South Carolina to play RS Central.
All right, Richard. Well, you guys be careful. I know on your way home back to Gaffney, you guys did a great job tonight, you and Brian Free, on the broadcast. Next week, we'll have RS Central and Chesney scheduled for Waggy. We'll let you guys know. That may end up being North at East Rutherford. Just depends. We're going to let you guys know. With the Lincoln County rain out, we've got to figure out exactly how we're going to handle that. But next week, we will have the Rutherford County Game of the Week and the Lincoln County Game of the Week. Well, I want to thank you, Richard, for everything you guys do, you and Brian.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, you be careful out there, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Thomas Jefferson with the first win of the season, 21-0. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we come back, we'll have more final scores. We're going to talk to Tom. We're going to talk to Brent. We'll talk Paul. And we'll talk to Chip as well.
Oh, look, come in here.
Will the Thrill Boy. Who's number 10? Is that Don Mikowski?
Show me some love, Will.
Is that Don Mikowski? I'm trying to think of who's number. That's not Jordan Love's new number.
That's our deacon, Will Boykins.
It is a Jordan Love jersey. I know they made it in that size.
Looks more like an offensive lineman.
I'm roasting him as much as I can before he gets to the microphone. Will the Thrill's here. We're going to talk to him in a minute. We got more scores and highlights coming up next. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Mark your calendar for the Cleveland County Chamber Wine Cellar event. September 20th at the Banker's House. This fundraiser contributes a portion of the proceeds to scholarships for 2025 graduating seniors from each Cleveland County high school with a focus in business and entrepreneurship. Enjoy a fabulous venue, raffles, a silent auction, live music, food pairings, and a chance to win an instant wine cellar. That's 100 bottles of wine. The Cleveland Chamber and the event sponsor, Albemarle, invite you to come out and support the Scholarship Fund. September 20th, 5:30 to 7:30 at the Banker's House. For ticket information, go to clevelandchamber.org. Country Camping Corner in Kings Mountain is celebrating 40 years in business. In 2023, they were named North Carolina's #1 dealer in North Carolina. And to celebrate, they're offering big red hot deals for the summer. Come in and shop their inventory and make them an offer. That's right, make them an offer. You can save thousands of dollars, up to $10,000 or even more. Plus, financing is available. Don't wait. Someone may buy your camper. Make them an offer and save today at Country Camping Corner, 101 Oak Grove at the Highway 74 bypass intersection in Kings Mountain. Online at countrycamping.com. When you talk about a pizza buffet, you must be talking about Pizza Inn in Shelby. There's no better pizza buffet around, including a huge salad bar too. All of your favorites, or special order the pizza of your choice. During lunch, it's only $10.99 and $12.99 for dinner Monday through Friday, $12.99 on weekends. It's the ultimate pizza buffet all day, every day. Since 1958, it's Pizza Inn, located in Shelby at 127 East Dixon Boulevard. For orders to go, call 704-482-2441. That's Pizza Inn of Shelby. They've got it, deer corn at Parker Family Feed in Bellwood. And they also have deer plot too. If you're going deer hunting, head first to Parker Family Feed in Lawndale. And yes, it's hay season. Come get your hay twine and hay wrap. Plus, they have all of your pesticides and insecticides and your weed control products. And of course, pet and livestock food. Parker Family Feed, 121 Carpenter's Grove Church Road in Bellwood. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 8 to 12:30 on Saturday. Like them on Facebook too.
This year celebrates the 100th anniversary of the Cleveland County Fair. Dates are set for September 26th through October the 6th. There will be plenty of great entertainment to help celebrate the 100th year, plus ride-offer rides. We'll be back again with over 40 rides. See the demolition derbies, the bands, magic acts, the livestock, and more. This year will be the biggest of all, so plan now to attend the 100th edition of the Cleveland County Fair, September 26th through October 6th. Buy tickets online at clevelandcountyfair.com.
Hey, can I help you? Wow, this tractor looks tough. Oh, yeah. This is the Coyote RX 6010. It has a 59 horsepower Daedong turbo engine, 4-wheel drive, and one of the highest lift capacities in its class. It's a whole new level of toughness.
Wow, that is tough. I'll take it. Bubby, let's go wrestle a bear.
Experience the toughness of the RX series at your local Coyote dealer.
Your Coyote dealer is Weston Sells, Highway 18 North, Highway 27 intersection west in Vail.
Okay, here are 3 important reasons why your son or daughter should play a sport in high school.
Number 1.
High school sports teach valuable life lessons like self-discipline and time management skills.
2.
Teens who play a high school sport have better grade point averages.
And number 3.
High school sports are safer than ever before.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
And welcome back to the Full Throttle Powersports post-game show with the Reverend Dennis Davis, our Deacon Will Boykins, our youth minister Kevin Hastings, and AV coordinator JP, the Ministry of KGC Broadcasting.
What's up, JP? How we doing, bub?
We're doing good so far.
How's the fish tonight from Pete's Fish Box?
It was good. It was good. It was good.
You didn't get no frog legs this week, did we?
No, which I was kind of happy about.
Well, you don't have to eat the frog.
Well, I didn't eat them last time, but
He just didn't want to see the frog legs.
They got plenty of catfish back there. Did you?
I had some catfish. I had some catfish.
Well, you know what I had? I had flounder and crab cake. And
well, I had crab cake too. I just ate mine before you got in there.
Those are deviled crabs, not crab cakes.
Oh, excuse me.
Big difference.
Excuse me. And shrimp, man.
I wouldn't know the difference because I can't eat shellfish. So.
that's so sad.
We got some flounder back there.
There's a difference between deviled eggs and the scrambled eggs, right?
There are.
That's what I'm saying about that. The deviled eggs and the Use crab cakes with remoulade sauce.
Okay.
Deviled crab.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Say that again.
And nobody can say it. It's a mysterious word. I say remoulade.
We got Jeff Miller on the phone.
Parlez-vous en français?
Who's on? We got Chip
No,
calling?
he keeps hanging up.
Well, why does he keep hanging up?
I don't know. I put him on hold and he hangs up.
I'm sure that's not how that's going.
No, literally, I put him on hold and he hangs up on me.
All right, got some final scores for you folks listening on the radio. I'm going to go through these until we
I'll let you know as soon as he wings back.
Get connected again. Thanks, Shapey. Crest wins 27-14 over Shelby. Kings Mountain wins 41-20 over Burns. Freedom 26-7 over Forest View. Providence 56-27 over Hunter Us. Statesville squeaks by 6-0 over South Iredale. Murphy 36-33 over West Henderson. West Charlotte 41-0 over Cox Mill. Alexander Central 28-19 over North Iredale. West Lincoln 27-21 over Ford in overtime. East Lincoln 52-14 over Lincoln. Randleman wins 35-21 over Bunker Hill. East Rutherford 62-15 over Newton Conover. High Brighton 38-8 over West Caldwell. Ashe County wins 20-15 over West Wilkes. Watauga 24-13 over Maiden. Mountain Heritage wins over Robbinsville 28-13. How about 7-2, baby? Andrews and Hayesville. Andrews with the win over the Yellow Jackets.
Baseball score.
Yes, it was.
What ending is that?
Lake Norman Charter 24-21 over Christ the King. South Lake Christian 21-10 over Mountain Island. Thomas Jefferson 21-0 over South Carolina Spartans. And the Rambling Wreck from Highland Tech are 2-0. 8-7 over Buford. South Carolina Yellow Jackets. And Blacksburg wins 48-12.
Congrats to those kids.
To which one? Oh,
Highland Tech.
Oh, you missed the highlights from a little earlier. We got highlights from Tuesday's win. I can show you some, Will, a little bit. But they did get a win tonight. I don't have any highlights of that one. But then we do have Blacksburg 48-12 over Cherville NA. I don't know if you was listening to that, Will, but they had a huge fight between the two teams at halftime and coaches and everybody on the field. And that basically ended the first half early. And Chip's going to call and let us know a little bit about exactly
It's Blacksburg and
what happened there.
Cherville?
Yeah. Huge fight on the field. They thought they were going to, honestly, listening to it, the way it happened, I text Chip, there we go. Text Chip that I thought that they may just call the game because you know what the score was after the first quarter?
What was it?
34-0.
First quarter.
Blacksburg was up. They were on pace to win 136-0 after the first quarter.
I'll tell you who won that. Who won that game was security.
Right, Cherville won the fight because they didn't get to 100 points.
Security cleared the field at halftime.
Answer this, Will. If you give up 34 in one quarter, and then you get in a fight, and after that the score is 14-12, that means you won the fight, right?
It just means they took some players out.
If before the fight you're losing 34-0, and after the fight you win, it's 14-12. You won the fight. I'll give you the credit for the fight, but we don't know what happened. Chip's gonna call us and let us know exactly what's gonna go.
Now, Trevor won that Blacksburg game last year. Did they not?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I can look it up really quick.
I think they won.
You know, you and Tom like to ask me questions that are
No,
irrelevant.
I think
and then I
Trevor
have to go
won.
look it up.
It was a close game, and I think Trevor won that game.
It was
last year.
56. It was 105 points in the game. It was 56-49. Somewhat. I think that was the exact score. I'm pulling it up for you. We talked about the pregame. Yeah, there was 105 points scored. Blacksburg won last year 59-46.
59-46.
So 105 points in that game last year. So
yeah, nobody played defense.
Well, Cherrill hasn't apparently tackled anybody in 2 years in Blacksburg. So that's 191 points. So no, 101 points. 59-42. So 101. So yeah, Ironman. They didn't win the fight. They won the fight, Will. Whether you believe it or not, they had to have. All right, we're going to talk to Chip here in a minute. Whenever he gets to call us, he might be in a
Might be in a bad spot.
Bad section of Blacksburg. Might be in the bad
Like
streets of
North
Blacksburg.
Fighting his way out of the stadium.
So the red score's on the board for you folks. Listen on the radio. You can watch this show every Friday night. We're going to have some highlights and awards and more coming up in just a little bit. But you can watch the show every Friday on YouTube. Go to KDC Broadcasting YouTube channel. We're here till 11:45.
I like your North Lincoln Mustang hat.
You like my North Lincoln Mustang hat? For the folks at home, do I need to show it off? What's even better about it, Will, is that I got a deal on it. It was only like $6. It was on a sale rack. It is like a quality hat. So the folks that watch at home, got the NL, but it's green and orange, and on the back, it's got the Mustang. So I've got a green and orange Mustang hat that says NL on it. They sell those in Pumpkin. They sell those in Lincoln High School as a joke. Is where I got it from, Will. They sell them at West Lincoln with the cowbells. They needed more cowbell tonight. They got their win. Here's some scores. The red scores, folks. What I was going to say. Those are the scores that are active that we don't have yet. Ashbrook 7-0 over West Meck. Tuscola 28-6 over McDowell. Robertson 35-0 over Smoky Mountain. Franklin 35-7 over Swain County. Stuart Cramer 25-24 over East Gaston. Got nothing on R Central, Wilkes Central so far. Hendersonville was up 40-6 over East Henderson. Irwin was up big over Brevard. I mean, not big, but like a lot of points in this game. 98 points in the game last time we checked. Irwin 56, Brevard 42. East Wilkes 49-0 over North Wilkes, and Starmount 42-0 over Fort Bush. East Burke 12-7 over Drone Polk County. 30-13 over Blue Ridge, and Bessemer City was leading 36-10 over Avery County last time we checked.
What?
Chip's on his way in. JP, he hasn't called you once, so he don't know who you're talking about. He's been trying to call you. But
Who, Chip? Because he hasn't called.
You just said Chip tried to call.
No, Jeff Miller.
Oh,
Jeff Miller.
Okay, Jeff was trying to call. Jeff, you can call back if you want to. More than welcome to. We thought you were saying.
I can't hear myself.
I heard you say Jeff.
We did. No, I heard you say that too. But I also thought you said Chip a second ago.
My thing came
Please turn your mic off. What's he saying?
I wondered why I couldn't hear myself, and then I was like, "Oh, my headphones come unplugged."
All right. So anyway,
Meanwhile,
again,
back at the ranch.
Yes.
So we've talked to two of our we've talked to a couple of our games here. Where's my? Hold on. So we talked to our Lincoln County guy. We talked to our Rutherford County guy. Chip's going to come on in and talk to us in person. So we're just going to go ahead and we'll get Tom here on the phone here in just a minute when he's ready to give us a call and talk about that Burns game at Kings Mountain. Next week, they'll be at home against Alexander Central, and then they'll travel on the road to Highland Tech after that. We do have some highlights from some of the games this week, folks. I'm going to let you guys in on some of that here in just a minute. And so we've got highlights from Burns and Kings Mountain. We've got highlights from East Lincoln, Lincolnton. I've got highlights from Blacksburg. Got a piece of the fight maybe. And maybe one more game we had highlights from. We do not have highlights from Shelby and Crest. Crest don't want us to do video over there for you folks asking about that. You can call Crest Athletic Director or the principal, whoever you want to over there, and ask them why or
Kevin,
complain or whatever you need to do.
If they had a phone with a camera in it, they could take video and send it to us, and then we could play that video.
Anybody can, but we do get asked quite a bit. Why do you do this team or why do you do that? And people don't ever have. The thing about it is, Dennis, is that people complain to us, not the people actually making the decisions.
Yeah, I had somebody call me today and basically ask, why is there no video? And I said, well, it's because they don't allow it.
Right. Like we would, honestly, folks, we would do every school in our area if they would allow it.
Yeah,
so if you don't see your school allowing the video, or you don't see us doing video at your school, it's 100% because your athletic director will not allow it. So whatever you want to do, if you ask the parents, Dennis, if you ask the players, the coaches, the fans, everybody wants to see the video. You were talking earlier about some of the folks that you know that you went to school with that can't always get out to the games, or the folks that don't even live here. When we were doing East Lincoln games, we were having fans that went to East Lincoln that would watch and call in every Friday night from Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
And they obviously can't buy a ticket. But for the folks that do want to, please don't complain to us about it, because the only thing we can do is call and ask to do the broadcast. Some of these schools will allow it, will not. And the bad thing about it is, Dennis, is that they'll lie to you about the reasons that they won't allow it. They'll tell you we won't allow it because it affects sales, and then they'll turn around and do their own broadcast.
Yeah,
so that's a straight up lie to your face. And
we can't sell hot dogs, but we can broadcast it.
Right.
Does that affect hot dog sales?
Right.
I don't know. But hey, Kevin, just on top of that, what you were talking about, hats off to Burns High School. They let us broadcast all their games. I'm sure it creates a loyalty among their fans that, like we said, for whatever reason can't be there, and keeps people, knowing what's going on at their alma mater.
And speaking of Burns, we have the Burns Bulldog on the phone.
Thank you, JP.
Matt Royster called in?
No, the other one.
All right, we got Tom on the phone. He's at Kings Mountain tonight. Kings Mountain let us broadcast. I want to thank Matt Bridges and the gang over there for letting us do the broadcast at Kings Mountain tonight. So, Tom, the Bulldogs fall 41-20 to the Mountaineers. And were you guys, let's talk about that game first. Tell us a little bit about what happened and how you got there.
Well, Kings Mountain really, dominated a lot of aspects of the game for good parts of the game. Their defensive front's pretty good, Kevin, and they held us. I had it tallied up. I'm driving down the road, so I can't look at it right now, but they held us under 100 yards rushing, but we did have two long pass plays. I don't think they were ready for it. One to Kenyon Surratt, another one to Graham Warlick, and those two pass plays again for about 160 yards. Then both of them set up, touchdowns for Burns. What basically happened is there was a long drive for Kings Mountain. Then they fumbled on the 2-yard line. Burns takes it down and scores, and they were up 6-0. But next few possessions, Burns had a hard time getting off the field, and number 15, I think his name's Kings Mountain, the kid that's 6'6", the wide receiver. He was dominant. I think he had 8 catches, around 160 yards, so he was dominant. And then Hill, I had it written down, made 26 carries over 160 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. So, it was about the Kings Mountain star players just having dominant performances, and the Kings Mountain front, the defense, forced a good number of 3-and-outs. I can't remember. It seemed like it's 4 or 5 3-and-outs in a row after Burns looked really good on the first drive and went down, scored a touchdown, and then I talked to the coaches that they're built to stop a team that likes to run the ball, and that's what happened for a good part of the first half. But one of the key plays, Burns was going to force a 3-and-out, 4th and 8. Kings Mountain fakes the punt and got 8 yards on 4th and 6, and that just kind of took the wind out of ourselves. At that point, at 17-6, we're going to get the ball back before halftime. They got the fake at that point, and you could just feel that was probably all she wrote at that point. Second half did get a little something going, scored a couple touchdowns, and McGowan looks better throwing the football. I'll say that, especially on the slant. A couple slants he threw for the long passes, so it's getting better. They're letting him run the read option a little bit. It's not just a direct snap run. They're giving him a couple of 2 or 3 different types of passing plays there. So I think as the season goes with McGowan at quarterback, the offense will progress and they'll get better. Just a really, really tough Kings Mountain defense tonight.
Yeah, their defensive front is that front good. 5 is huge, and they played really, really well together.
I think Burns made some good adjustments at halftime, and they seemed to create some more running lanes for McGowan, especially on the quarterback run. I think McGowan finished with around 50 yards rushing. But, Wilson had a big, it was over 160 yards last week. I think this week he only had, about 20, 25 yards rushing. So, like you said, that front 4, that front 5, they can play some ball well. I'm telling you, they're good. They're going to be a problem for that Big South Conference this year.
I believe it.
Well, Tom, I actually picked Burns on the pregame show, and both of us did. And what I thought would do was that Coach Devine would come up with some way to get McGowan into the game with his arm as a pitcher, maybe throwing some short passes, the 10 to 15-yard passes, and move on down the field. Did you see much out of him tonight with his passing game, which has been non-existent by Burns up to this point?
Well, he was 6 of 14. I want to say he had neighborhood of 160 yards. Like I said, I just kind of pulled in my driveway. I had some of this stuff written down. Kevin, I'll text you exact stats of what I had later. But yeah, like I said, a couple of slants he hit. They ran a couple of screens and things. Really didn't work as much in the screen game, and I think they're still going to be working on that. But really, it was almost the exact same slant pattern. Came from the right side and moved to the left in the middle of the field, and he was right on the money twice. And the guys made great catches twice. So if they could add a few more, and, keeping it short, he throws a nice deep ball, too. He's capable of throwing a deep ball as well. But he hasn't played quarterback in a while. He's played, as I said, he's played, defensive linebacker, defensive end. We know he's been on that side of the ball a lot, but really just a couple of weeks you could see his progression. I mean, he is a tremendously gifted athlete, and, pretty much any position on that football field he wants to play, he can play. But it takes time. There's timing and reads, and there's a lot of things that the quarterback's responsible for, so it's going to take some time, and it's tough to have Crest and Kings Mountain early in your schedule when you're still trying to learn. You'd rather have your Highland Tech, your Vesper City, then face Crest and Kings Mountain, but doesn't work that way. So it's been a learning curve, but you can see improvement. You can really see improvement, and I feel good about it as we get into October and November football. I'll feel good about him being our quarterback then.
Well, Tom, you're backing up what I heard from some Burns people this week, and that is, we don't particularly like our conference, but thank goodness for our conference, because now we get a chance to work on things before we head towards the playoff. Some of those teams that you mentioned will give you an opportunity to perfect that passing game. You'll work on your defense. All the things that you feel like you need to tweak a little bit, you can get done over the next few weeks as you're playing in that conference, that you're currently in, and getting ready for some playoff football.
I'm just telling you, Vaughn, that kid, man, he's a monster, man. Like I said, he had a touchdown catch. He had, like I said, it seemed like it was about 160 yards of worth of receptions. I mean, he was really, really hard to handle. He made some fabulous catches too. He made one catch in the middle of the field where I thought it was going to be way overthrown, but the kid's 6'6", made an outstanding leaping grab, and it was a couple times that he had big catches, or Kings Mountain had big runs on 3rd and +10, like 3rd and 12. They had a 50-yard run, like 3rd and 11. They had like a 25, 30-yard pass to Vaughn. So it's some of those situations where you had them backed up and you have a chance to get off the field and just weren't able to do it. So you got to tip your cap to Kings Mountain, and I do want to thank their press box. Their press box was helpful in helping us spot, tacklers, ball carriers. They had food in the press box. They had drinks in the press box. They allowed us to use their high-speed internet. They allowed us to video. So I just really appreciate the folks over at Kings Mountain taking care of KTC tonight. We really appreciate that.
Did you get a bag of peanuts too?
I didn't get peanuts, but they had chicken wings and all this stuff. They had macaroni and cheese. They had Diet Dr. Peppers, which is, if I'm going to drink a soda, that's one of my favorites, and free bags of popcorn and all kinds of stuff. And as I said, it's nice to have the hardwired internet. You have no idea. If you have that direct line internet, that broadcast is so much smoother. So we had what we needed. They're going to tear down that press box. They'll have a new one next year.
That's what I was fixing to say. You don't have to sit on that back row anymore. You can. I noticed.
Well, that was the only thing. I was back on the back row and had a little table, and you got to kind of squeeze in there. And when you're trying to take drive stats, player stats, run your computer and everything, it gets a little hectic. It's a lot easier at Burns where you got a little room to operate now. So we're looking forward to going home and hosting Alexander Central next week. And I heard Kevin saying they won, so it'll be a good ball game in Lawndale against the Cougars.
And you can watch it right here on KTC broadcasting with the YouTube broadcast.
Make sure if anybody's listening, make sure you go to YouTube, go to Kevin Hastings' page. A lot of you are my Facebook friends who listen. If you're not, I'll add you. If you go to my Facebook page, click once, you're on the link, click again, you're watching a game. That's if you want to watch it on your phone or your smart TV at home. So basically, go to my page and it's 2 clicks, and we'll have all the home games. And I do appreciate you recognizing Burns. They've been very generous, and Miss Haverly and our athletic director, Chris White, have been very generous in letting us do all the broadcasts, and we really appreciate that.
All right, Tom, we thank you very much for what you do to help bring those broadcasts to all the fans.
Okay, I'll be in for the morning show brought to you by McDonald's and Cheers. I'm looking forward to it. See you guys in the morning.
All right, see you, Tom. Have a good night. All right, we'll come back. We're going to talk Crest and Shelby. We're going to give you all the new scores and more. We got to take a break. When we come back on the Full Throttle Powersports of Lowell postgame show, KDCBroadcasting.com.
We have a cold front headed this way, and it might impact your weekend plans on Saturday. Tonight, we'll have mostly cloudy skies with some light rain possible after midnight. Temperatures will get down into the upper 60s. It's mostly cloudy Saturday. Some light rain is possible, especially the first half of the day. Highs climb into the upper 70s to lower 80s. And then beautiful Sunday. It's sunny with highs in the upper 70s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's 11:04, and the temperature is 69 degrees.
You pull, you save money at Auto Parts U Pull and Scrap Metal in Shelby and Lincoln. And yes, they buy cars and trucks, any year, any size, any condition. They'll even come and tow your vehicle in. They might even buy your house. They also buy copper, aluminum, steel, cast iron, tin, and brass. See the king of parts. That's Auto Parts U Pull and Scrap Metal. Open 8 till 5, Monday through Friday at 1025 County Home Road in Shelby and 851 Car Farm Road in Lincoln. Online at autopartsupull.com and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. And like them on Facebook, too.
Kendall Ford in Gastonia announces a 3rd annual Custom Car Cruise-In. It's bigger and better and set for Saturday, October 5th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. There will be free sun drop, hot dogs, popcorn, music, and prizes. Kendall Ford is celebrating their 50th year in Gaston County, and this is a 50s-themed Custom Car Cruise-In with over 300 custom cars on display. All makes, all models. For more information, call 704-857-8341 or go online at TyndallFord.com. Tyndall Ford, 1901 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia, celebrating 50 years in Gaston County. Did you know Cleveland Lumber Company has a custom mill workshop? Well, they do. And if you need something custom made, see Cleveland Lumber Company in Shelby. From cabinets to doors to trim. And don't forget, they do screen repair too. See them for your Milwaukee and Makita power tools. Also, Ready Seal for those decks. It's goof-proof. Even you can do it. That's Cleveland Lumber Company, 217 Airwood Street in Shelby. Open Monday through Friday. They are the builder's choice. Cleveland Lumber Company in Shelby. It's hot outside, and so are the red-hot deals on flooring at Barrett's Floor Covering in Kings Mountain. Hurry in now and see Stan and Sherry for your next floor. They've got wide-width sheet vinyl with new designs and priced as low as $125 a square foot. Plus 5mm and 20mm wear layer LVP flooring is only $1.99 a square foot. This special get only for you at Barrett's Floor Covering, 150 Dixon School Road in Kings Mountain. Online at barrettsfloorcovering.com. Now new at Willis Flooring Shop in Shelby. It's the all-new display of Dreamweaver carpet. Make your flooring dreams come true. Shop their big new showroom. See the new LVP flooring by Deacon, and yes, they have LVP flooring made right here in the good old USA. In addition to flooring, you'll find shower doors and glass, quartz and granite, and Marsh cabinets. Call 980-404-0065 for Willis Flooring Shop. See the new showroom and displays today and like them on Facebook too. Main Street Hardware in Lawndale is the #1 hardware store in this area. Right now, save big with Valspar Paint and Milwaukee Tools. Main Street Hardware also has a great selection of boots from Georgia Boot Company. And if it's a trimmer or blower you're looking for, they have a big selection from Red Max. It's time to aerate and seed your lawn. Go by and see Main Street Hardware, 356 East Main Street in Lawndale, or like them on Facebook too. Go Bulldogs from Main Street Hardware.
And we're back on the Full Throttle Power Sports post-game show with the Reverend Dennis Davis, Youth Minister Kevin Hastings, Deacon Will Boykins, Usher Steve DeGree, and AV Coordinator JP. And in the house is the Bishop Chip Carter.
Chip Carter.
The entire ministry is here.
We're going to have Chip go ahead and come on and sit down and tell us about this charitable game that got a little wild.
Yes,
I'm going to get up, Chip. You can sit. You can sit right here. Oh, you want to sit on Will's lap? Let me get the camera.
His wife might not like that.
Well, we got a chair available over there, Chip, if you want to
I'm going to put him right here. I'm going to get up because I'm going to go do some fuzzy math here on my power pole here. But you guys, I'm going to leave this.
Know all about that fuzzy math. With that power pole.
Now, Chip, what I want to know is,
who won the fight?
Well, what I was going to say is, can you not go anywhere without stirring up trouble?
Did you hear my assessment of the fight?
Something about 12 to
Steve, if you're getting beat 34-0, and then you get in a fight, and
That's
after
the first
that
quarter.
you lose 14-12, you won the fight, didn't you?
You won something, but you didn't win the game.
You got the right person kicked out. Didn't you? I was on pace to give up 128. I got in a fight and only gave up 48. I think I won the fight. I just cut 80 points off of it by fighting.
Well, we had one ejected too, so.
You had to fight too,
yeah. We had one ejected.
Kevin was talking about they scored 100-some-odd points last year. After one quarter, it looked like they were going to score 100 points by themselves. It was golly. They put a hurting on Cherryville this evening. If I live 100 years, if I live 1,000 years, I'll never see a game like what I watched tonight. It was nuts. I've watched, and anybody who listened to broadcasts on WCSL will probably hear some of the things. I'm going to repeat some of the things I've said. I've watched the games all throughout Western North Carolina, from the mountains to Charlotte. I've seen games in Georgia. I've seen high school games all over the Southeast.
Let me stop you right there, Chip, and say, we're talking about Blacksburg.
Yeah. I know, and I've never seen an offense like what they did in the first quarter. It was the most efficient. They were explosive. They were efficient. Their route running was phenomenal. We got there, and when you get ready to do a broadcast, you ask, if you've not had a chance to do a whole lot of research on the game, you'll ask the guys in the press box who are around. Can you give me some idea of the guys to be on the lookout for? And, a lot of times they'll give you the quarterback, the running back, and maybe a receiver or two to kind of that you're going to be announcing quite a bit. They start running down their list of guys, and they give me like 5 guys. And then the 6th guy, they go, this is our quarterback. And then the 7th guy, well, that's our running back. Who are the first 5 guys? Those are all the receivers. And that's who the quarterback, Sims, is going to be spreading the ball out to. And by golly, he did. I mean, and Josh Sims, this kid the young man for Blacksburg, he's not very tall. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be a Division I quarterback. He's going to play at the next level somewhere. He's got the arm strength. He proved that, and we saw that in warm-ups. But the touch he put on some passes, putting it in the right spot, leading his receivers. I said it multiple times. He might not have all the throws, but he's got most of them. And it was impressive to watch.
And it's hard to have all of them in high school.
Yeah, I mean,
this is an SAT question.
Yes, sir.
Cherryville is to Blacksburg as Blacksburg is to Gaffney.
That might be the old analogy. Yeah, it was. I was speechless at one point. I just couldn't believe what I was watching, and it was quite a first quarter, and obviously again put quite a few points up, and then 1:50 to go in the first half, and it was weird. The whole dynamic was weird. You could tell Cherryville young men were having a hard time to begin with. You could tell they were frustrated. They were getting frustrated with themselves. There was
their first possession, both teams ran a trick play to open the game. Blacksburg ran a reverse that they about fumbled and saved. Cherryville ran a reverse receiver pass, and the weak side receiver on the play was wide open and almost ran it in for a touchdown, got brought down at the 4-yard line. And so you're thinking, okay, and Blacksburg had scored on their opening drive, so you're thinking, okay, great, Cherryville's going to tie this thing up. We're going to have a bit of a game here for a little bit. Well, 2 false start penalties later, you're looking at 1st and goal from the 15. And it's just, and that was very similar to what Terry and I saw with West Lincoln last week. It's just they couldn't develop any momentum without just an unfortunate penalty or something shooting them in the foot, and they weren't able to convert that drive. And you could tell the players were just immensely frustrated after they being on the cusp of being able to put points on the board and not finishing that off. There was a little bit of frustration with each other. And that frustration only grew as the game went along. And then it was weird, Dennis, the second quarter, and even the end of the first quarter, because they'd already put almost 35 points up on the board, Blacksburg took the foot off the gas. They had spread the ball out. They were passing. Their running back Odom had 2 runs of over 50 yards, 1 over 75 yards for touchdown. He had 3 touchdown runs in the game that added up to his 3 touchdown runs by themselves added up to almost 150 yards rushing. Wow. By themselves. Wow. But by the end of the first quarter, they could tell they had done what they needed to do. So they took their foot off the gas and ran between the tackles, and they started to do the same thing in the second quarter. Well, Cherryville got a little chippy after some of the plays, and I don't think Blacksburg appreciated that very much, because like, look, we're trying to be sportsmanlike here, but we don't think you're reciprocating this. So they put the gas back down, and they scored another touchdown in the second quarter, and I think that just antagonized Cherryville even more. And both teams there was a lot of drag down tackles. I mean, it's football. There are a lot of football plays, but it was uber aggressive, extended plays. And about 1:50 to go. Well, and Juwan, color guy, made a great point too. 2 plays before things really got out of hand, there was a play where Andron Patterson, Cherryville's starting quarterback, had his helmet ripped off of him, and it was face mask was called, but that just riled him up. Well, 2 plays later is when everything went down. They were marching towards the goal line where Patterson took the snap. Blacksburg got great penetration, and about 2 or 3 of them just started to wrangle his jersey, and finally at one point one of them basically just threw him down to the ground, and not really threw him down to the ground. They tackled him, then all brought him down, and it was a little the added or the extended tackling, basically pushing back, just put him over the edge, and he responded in kind, so to speak, to them, and that's when Blacksburg's players went to defend their defensive players, and obviously Cherryville's players went to defend their quarterback. I really commend both teams' benches, because it could have got a lot uglier than it did, but the majority, if not the entire bench for both sides, stayed on the sidelines.
And that's the rules, because we have had cases in the past where players came off of the bench, entered into the altercations on the field, and they're suspended.
Yes. And I'm sure that I don't know if the coaches reminded them of that, or if it's just something that was hammered home, but the majority, again, I don't know. There was a lot of fighting going on. There was a lot of players going on. So I couldn't count if it was 22 or if it was 11 on 11. I couldn't tell if there was just 22 bodies on the field fighting. And again, coaches came out, security was out. It looked like a NASCAR race at one point. I mean, it looked like a Royal Rumble at one point. But it was. I don't know if any of the bench players for either team came off, but the majority of them stayed on the sidelines, and it was. I commend that. But yeah, we're sitting there, Juwan and I are looking at each other, and I was like, I don't want to blow this out of proportion, but are we going to finish this game? And he looked at me and said, I was thinking the exact same thing. Kevin texted me and said, he says, I think they're going to end the game. But what they decided, they cleared the field. Both teams went to their locker rooms. Blacksburg left almost immediately. The coaches, once they got everybody separated, the coaches grabbed their guys and they took them to the locker room. Or a lot of the assistant coaches took their guys to the locker room. And then they made the decision. I walked over to the press box and asked if they had heard anything. And about that time, one of the coordinators came downstairs and said, "We're going to run the minute 50 down. Just run it down. We're going to go. This is basically going to be halftime, and then we're going to plan on playing the second half." And so we did that. They ran the clock down. They put 15 minutes on for halftime. When 15 minutes ran up, Blacksburg was back on the field. Cherryville was not back out on the field. And then we saw the officials talking to Cherryville's coaching staff. So we're like, okay, are we having second thoughts? Well, then we heard radio that they were going to put an additional 10 minutes on for halftime. And then we saw Cherryville come out, and we saw Blacksburg go back in. And so we're like, all right, what's going on? Well, eventually both teams came out. They played the majority of the second half. There was a little bit at the beginning of the second half where they didn't have a running clock, but the majority of the second half they did a running clock. Blacksburg took their foot off the gas. Really, a lot of where they had been aggressively going down the field north-south, a lot of their plays started east-west in the second half. Cherryville was able to, and Cherryville actually had some decent offensive plays in the second half. You saw a lot of guys step up. Andron Patterson, the quarterback, was not dressed. He did not play the second half. One of the receivers for Blacksburg was not dressed. Those were the only two players we noticed that were not dressed out in the second half. I questioned if Cherryville starting center was not allowed to play, and I only say that because there was a lot of high snaps in the second half that we didn't see in the first half. But both teams really behaved themselves in the second half. Things kind of settled down. We got back to football. The score was kind of the game was kind of determined by that point. But they finished up the game. Both teams came out and shook hands. But from the offensive explosiveness to I saw in the first quarter to the insanity at the end of the first half. Again, if I live another 500 years, I don't think I'll ever see a game like I saw tonight.
Well, Chip, I said on the pregame show, and I'll reiterate that. The only good thing that happens to you when you go to Blacksburg is Kelly's Steakhouse. Other than that,
it was I mean, they set the tone early, and that's
is it still open?
You don't go there.
Was it still open?
Yeah.
Hey, see that lady over there? Take her to Kelly's Steakhouse tomorrow night and see if it's open.
He's not ready to make that decision. But
what was the final score?
It was 48-12. So Cherryville put two touchdowns on the board. They our player of the game was Ray Sewell for Cherryville. The first time I've seen a player, the first time I can recall seeing a player with a touchdown reception and a touchdown pass in the same game, because he took Patterson's place as and I thought they were just going to run the Wildcat. Sewell is he's a shifty kind of scat back, low to the ground. I thought they were going to run the Wildcat with him and oh gracious, their other running back who had been their primary tailback. I thought they were going to just use both of them. And then Sewell, like the third play of the third period, takes a snap out of the shotgun, rolls out to the right. I thought he was looking for a lane to run. All of a sudden, he pulls his arm up and fires a pass down the field. I was like, well, I guess he's playing quarterback. And sure enough, he had a jet sweep to Jatarius McElhaney. I hope I got that name right. I know it's McElhaney, but and McElhaney turned what we thought was going to be a 4 or 5 yard jet sweep, broke a couple of tackles, and he just turned on the afterburners and ran a 75-yard touch or 65-yard touchdown, and that would end up being Cherryville's second score. So final score was 48-12. A lot of young men. McElhaney was one. I was trying to think, and I don't have the roster in front of me, but really had a chance to kind of show them, try out for the team, so to speak, show themselves, see if they could take on an extended role for the team for the remainder of the year. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. I'm curious what will happen going forward with this team. They found a couple of additional guys that can be some additional weapons beyond Sewell and Patterson. So hopefully they can implement them into their strategy.
Well, there you go. You've got the lowdown and the blow-by-blow report from Chip on the Blacksburg Cherryville game tonight.
It's craziest game I've ever watched in high school. The offense was like watching the first quarter. I looked at Javon and I was like, the first quarter was like watching a PlayStation game. It was just it was nuts. So.
Well, Chip, we appreciate you coming in. I know you got to get up early in the morning. And
All I heard on the way over here, I heard devil crab. What?
Crab cake. I was corrected.
I got to swipe one now. So.
Yeah. There's some shrimp back there, and
I don't know the difference, Chip. Here's the problem. They was explaining the difference between devil crab and crab cakes. And ragu sauce, what was it?
Remoulade.
It's scrambled eggs versus
Right, yeah.
Well, there you go.
We got to take a break, guys. When we come back, we've got to give away our numbers bookkeeping player of the week this week, and we're going to talk Shelby and Crest when we come back, and then we've got our update on the Power Poll as well. So we'll be back in a few minutes. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Join us for our live Sunday morning worship services on WHS. It's the Sunday morning worship service from Calvary Baptist Church in Shelby, and on WCSL, it's the Sunday morning worship service from First Baptist Church in Cherryville.
From Shelby, turn off Highway 74 at Highway 226, up Highway 226 to the caution light at Zion Church Road. There on the corner is Kibo's. Been there for over 20 years. Kibo's, where you'll find Hunt Brothers Pizza, snacks, candy, chips, also soft drinks, hand-dipped and packaged ice cream, bread, tobacco products, and much more. Yes, that's Kibo's. And don't forget to fill that vehicle up with gasoline at Kibo's 226 North at the caution light in Shelby.
You're listening to The Boss, WHS, Shelby, North Carolina, your beach oldies and sports stations. Online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
We have a cold front headed this way, and it might impact your weekend plans on Saturday. Tonight, we'll have mostly cloudy skies with some light rain possible after midnight. Temperatures will get down into the upper 60s. It's mostly cloudy Saturday. Some light rain is possible, especially the first half of the day. Highs climb into the upper 70s to lower 80s. And then beautiful Sunday. It's sunny with highs in the upper 70s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's 11:25, and the temperature is 69 degrees.
Get ready to celebrate 100 years of tradition, family fun, and unforgettable memories at the Cleveland County Fair in Shelby, North Carolina, presented by Albemarle. From thrilling rides and exciting games to delicious food and live entertainment, there's something for everyone. Join us from September 26th to October 6th for this historic event at North Carolina's largest county fair. Grab your tickets today at clevelandcountyfair.com, and let's make this a celebration to remember.
Join Clifford's Army Animal Rescue Saturday, September 21st for their Wheels for Wolves event, hosted at Classic Ford Lincoln in Shelby from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Enjoy car shows and competitions in memory of Keith Biddix, Best in Show, Best Muscle Car, and Best Classic Car, and People's Choice with the public voting. Registration fees are $25 for competition, $15 to show. Enjoy music with DJ Mike Rogers, food from Sandra Lee's Country Kitchen, and Uncle Hunt's Concessions. And, of course, there will be dogs, and more dogs. For more information, call Stephen Riviera at 845-701-1337. Wheels for Wolves to benefit Clifford's Army Rescue. All volunteer, 501c3 nonprofit Animal Rescue. Do you have something metal that needs some upgrading? If so, call Wade Walker at Coating Solutions. Coating Solutions specializes in custom powder coating. If you have anything metal that needs a facelift, Coating Solutions is the answer. If it's metal, aluminum, stainless steel, anything metal, Coating Solutions can make it look brand new in any color you choose. Handrails, wheels, motors, valve covers, lift kits, dirt bike frames, anything metal. Call Wade Walker today at 980-745-4545. Located at 104 Rockdale Road, 4 miles north of Falston on Highway 18.
This area's premier golf course is Deerbrook Golf Club in Shelby. Come play once and you'll be back guaranteed. Ride and play 18 Monday through Friday for $40. After one for $35. Ride and play weekends for $58. After one for $50. Seniors ride and play Monday through Friday for $35. To make your tee time, call 704-482-5653. Again, 704-482-5653 for the Deerbrook Golf Club. Club, 201 Deerbrook Drive, off Highway 180 North in Shelby. Online at deerbrookgolfclub.com. Like them on Facebook, too.
Hi, I'm Darren Yerby, General Manager with the new Ronaldo Kia in Shelby. Gas prices are too high, so Ronaldo Kia is going to say yes and fill your new Kia's tank for a year. That's right, so keep your cash because Ronaldo Kia is giving you free gas for a year for models like these.
Drive away today for an unbelievably low 1.9% on the all-new 2024 Kia Sportage. Or get up to $1,250 cash back on a 2024 Kia Soul.
We say yes to free gas at Ronaldo Kia in Shelby.
Tune in for Down Home with Milton Baker, Monday through Friday from 9 to 11 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.9 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
And we're back on the Power Sports postgame show with the Ministry of KTC Broadcasting. Reverend Dennis y'all know the Ministry of KTC. I don't have to tell y'all. Y'all know what it is. I said enough, but we're back with all of them. Y'all on?
Yeah, we are. Everything all right there, JP?
Yeah. I was going to say the ministry, but I was like, y'all know the ministry already.
Listening to you.
The whole ministry is here, all 6 of us.
Listen, I'm very interested in this $6.2 million we was talking about.
Yeah, well, Chip's the golf man. Ask him how that works.
Yeah, so what's your question? The caddy's made $6 million this year?
$6 million.
That means he's being a good caddy.
Well, I guess so, because that means this man has won a lot of money.
We in the wrong business.
Exactly.
I can carry some golf clubs. Well, not right now.
Yeah,
I was about to say, what you carry?
You can put a little buggy on the side.
Jack on right out, roll him around with an electric car.
What's bad?
You used the 9-9 on that last time, and you hit it about 172. You probably need to.
What is weird about that? I've never thought about shit. We can talk about it in the morning later, but they do have exemptions now for card exemptions for some of the players. Why can't your caddy have a card exemption? I mean, literally, I would hire somebody who's already in an electric wheelchair, and then sit it on their chair, and then we're rocking. So somebody's gonna do it. Somebody will.
Oh, you'd get
smart.
a club car.
It'd be smart. Yep. All right. So, welcome back. Steve Greaves in the house tonight. Shelby Golden Lions coach, and joins us every Friday night here. Shelby follows tonight 27-14. And Steve, you want to tell us a little bit about on your guys' side of the game, the Shelby Golden Lions folks?
Well, first of all, we had a great week of practice and preparation, so I thought the game would go a little different, but unfortunately it didn't. Chris got up on us pretty quick. That number 2 guy, the Elwes kid, made a great catch, beat our defensive back, and then Carson ran it in. So at halftime it was 27-0 halftime.
In fairness, your defensive guy fell down.
Yeah, he did. That was Larry Raper's son. He fell down on that play. So we came back out, had a heart-to-heart talk at halftime, and came back out and we scored and got the ball back and we scored again. So we was driving down to score again. The refs called offensive pass interference. He called pass interference on our defense, and the ball hit the ground and was nowhere near the receiver. And of course, our coach went ballistic. Now, win or lose, Dennis, I can take a loss. Now, if I've done it all my life, I'm the same person whether I win or if I lose. But the thing that really upset us was the officials took over the game. I know they can't find me, but I'm just gonna tell the truth. Even some of the Chris coaches said the same thing. I don't know where they got them officials from, but they might not call them back anymore. And some of the calls that they made, I just don't understand some of the calls. Like every time we got something going, there was a holding or something. Even in the second half when Chris got something going, it was all, matter of fact, Chris touchdown got called back. Melton kid called a touchdown. He got called back. And it was like every official throw the flag. And then the one referee throwed his hat. Because when Melton got to the end zone, he done the flip, which that was unsportsmanlike conduct. But all of them was declined, and Chris got the ball way back down again. But in fairness, Chris did they did beat us. They took it to us. The first half it was a tell of two halves.
Well, Steve, speaking of calls, I was listening, and Brent and Jeff and Paul, we were slipping back and forth between them. There was one call, it was a pass play, and they called offensive interference and defensive holding on the same play.
Yes.
Explain that to me, Steve.
I can't. That one time they called double pass in the first offensive pass interference. And
it was like, well, the holding came because the guy pushed him off, So how do you figure out what's what?
And I know the Crest coaches, even though they won, they wasn't really happy the second half themselves because they never scored again after the second quarter.
Well, that brings me to a question I want to ask you, Steve. You've played and you've come back and coached and helped out. How come more former players don't get into officiating to stay in touch with the game like you got into coaching to stay in touch with the game?
That's a hard question to answer because some of these officials ever played football before. Or like me, I couldn't go officiate basketball.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know what's going on. I mean, I know some of the aspects, but at least some of the officials would know. It's going to be holding on every play. Unless it's real blatant, you got to let the kids play.
Well, that's Steve.
Especially as a kind of rivalry like that. I'm not saying those calls would have made a difference in the game, but they called pass interference, and the ball was nowhere near the receiver. And actually, he pushed that guy out of the way, Dennis. So I'm not making no excuses. I never make excuses. Chris won. But something happened to Chris. They never scored the second half. Of course, we made defense adjustments too. But they was calling plays against Chris too.
Well, I'm just talking about not this particular game, Steve, not these particular players, and not these particular officials. But I see a trend where you have maybe one experienced guy on the crew, and you got a bunch of guys that don't need to be out there because, one, they're out of shape, two, they don't know what they're doing, or they're just bad.
And what's the official that's behind the defense? That guy was calling. I guess he was trying to be seen because he called offensive holding, and he was on the defense way back in the back. The back judge. He called holding. I said, how can he see holding from way back there?
I do.
Not only on Shelby, he was calling against Chris.
It is funny he said that. I think one of the funniest ones I've ever seen while actually broadcasting the game was you talk about the back judge. I saw a back judge throw a flag and call holding, and the flag landed in the backfield next to the referee in the white hat. The white hat standing there next to the quarterback, and the flag came from the back judge in the end zone and landed next to the referee. So, like what you're saying is that I guess you're saying, is that even his call, or was he even look at that?
I don't know whose call it was, but
I do remember seeing that one time, and I laughed. I thought it was the funniest thing. I've just that flag. He chucked that flag 25 yards in the head.
But Steve, it's not just football. You mentioned basketball. Being an old basketball coach, we were playing the state championship game. Billy Ellis was trying to get his first state championship. Brandon Spikes was in the middle. We were up 2 points. And the team that we were playing, they got 3 officials, one on the back line, one at the elbow, so to speak, and one sort of behind at the center line, watching everything, keeping an eye on who's doing what, traveling, 3 seconds, this, that, and the other. Kid comes driving down the lane. Spikes is standing there at the foul line. The kid runs slap into it.
And he called blocking foul.
And they called a blocking foul. Oh, it wasn't the official that was standing right there at the elbow. It wasn't the official who had a straight shot from the center jump circle. It was the guy on the back line that had 4 guys in between him and the call. and he blows the whistle, gives them the free throws, and they lose the state championship by 1 point.
But
all right, we got some final scores, guys. To get
I just want to say just one other thing. Still, we was down 27-0, but our kids did show heart. They did not give up. I know it really, really hurts, but we got to stay the course because this is a long season. There was no conference championship won tonight or state championship. But the main thing is we got to stay together. We got to, stay on course because we got a long way to go. So we lost 2 games, but guess what? If you end up 14-2, guess what? You don't win the state championship.
Well, it's like I told the Burns guys that lost to Kings Mountain tonight, Steve. When you get into conference play, things turn around for you. It gets a little easier playing some of those schools. I won't call any names.
Right. But I like the tough schedule myself because that prepares you for on down the road once you do get out of this conference. And I think I'll be thankful when they change it back to give you better competition because the other schools ain't going to be like what we play in the conference. But anyway, win or lose, I'm a Golden Lion to my heart. And I'll be right back out there on the field Monday with my kids.
All right, folks, we're going to take it. We got more breaks, JP? Okay, we're going to take another break. We can get reorganized. I'll say the word right in a second. And try to get these final scores. I got like 6. I don't have any score. I don't have the finals for, so we're trying to get that in the next break. Then when we come back, give you the update on the power poll and more on KDCBroadcasting.com.
We have a cold front headed this way, and it might impact your weekend plans on Saturday. Tonight, we'll have mostly cloudy skies with some light rain possible after midnight. Temperatures will get down into the upper 60s. It's mostly cloudy Saturday. Some light rain is possible, especially the first half of the day. Highs climb into the upper 70s to lower 80s. And then beautiful Sunday. It's sunny with highs in the upper 70s. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the Weather Center.
Currently from the KTC Broadcasting Studios, it's 11:39, and the temperature is 69 degrees.
Mark your calendar for the Cleveland County Chamber Wine Cellar event, September 20th at the Banker's House. This fundraiser contributes a portion of the proceeds to scholarships for 2025 graduating seniors from each Cleveland County high school, with a focus in business and entrepreneurship. Enjoy a fabulous venue, raffles, a silent auction, live music, food pairings, and a chance to win an instant wine cellar. That's 100 bottles of wine. The Cleveland Chamber and the event sponsor, Albemarle, invite you to come out and support the Scholarship Fund. September 20th, 5:30 to 7:30 at the Banker's House. For ticket information, go to clevelandchamber.org.
The Yamaha Get Out and Ride sales event is underway at Full Throttle Powersports in Lowell. Get 3.9% APR financing and up to $3,500 cash with approved credit for qualified buyers. But that's not all. Suzuki Fest is underway with 2.9% APR financing for 36 months for qualified buyers. And get the hottest ride of the summer with the Yamaha Slingshot with no money down or 5.99% APR financing for qualified buyers or $1,000 in customer cash. Come in for the details at Full Throttle Powersports, 101 Indian Walk in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com. For one of the top golf experiences in this area, tee it up at Kings Mountain Country Club. Book your tee time by calling 704-739-5871. Right now, play and ride 9 holes Monday through Friday for just $20. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for only $36. Seniors can play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $29. Play and ride 18 holes on the weekends for $55. The Kings Mountain Country Club, 109 Country Club Road in Kings Mountain. Online at kingsmountaincc.com.
Plumbing problems can drive you plumb crazy. Not anymore. Use your head. Call Olmsted to take care of all of your plumbing needs. Olmsted Plumbing has been serving this area since 1973. That's over 50 years. Plumbing problems can happen anytime, and anytime is not a good time. From slow toilets to leaky pipes to clogged drains, Olmsted Plumbing can do it all. Just call 828-245-7302 or visit the website at olmstedplumbing.com. Like we said, use your head. Call Olmsted. Olmsted Plumbing, you'll be glad you did.
The Transportation Administration of Cleveland County continues to operate TAC, Cleveland County Transit and Reach. The Cleveland County Transit route will continue to be free to ride until further notice. For more information, call 704-482-6705. Again, 704-482-6705. For schedules and times, visit taxshelbync.com. That's taxshelbync.com. Drivers clean and sanitize their vehicles every route.
And we're back on the Power Sports post-game show with Kevin and the Ministry of KTC Broadcasting. And they're doing, I think, highlights, power poll, and scores.
Thank you, JP, for getting back to us and doing a good job there tonight. Let's see.
Thank
Polk County is now 1-2, I believe. Or no, 1-1. Anyway, let's see. I'm trying to get the numbers right for Polk there. All righty. So for the folks listening at home, we got our power poll that we give points to for victories each week. Oh, Polk lost, so they're now 1-2. They were winning. They're -1. Okay, so quick update on the power poll. Last week, Statesville was 1, Bandy's 2, Bunker Hill 3, Hickory 4, North Lincoln 5, RS 6, Maiden 7, Ashbrook 8, East Lincoln 9, South Point 10. Now, after wins tonight and we're doing some rearranging, the number one team, Statesville, remains. They've got 3 4A victories. They got 12 points. Second place, the next closest with 6 points, is the Ashbrook Green Wave now. 2-0. They take the 2 spot away from Bandy's. Bandy's backs up to 3. RS Central is in the 4 spot with 6 points as well. Hickory of 5 points. East Lincoln of 5 points. Henderson of 5 points are 5, 6, and 7. North Lincoln, Crest at 9. 10 is, I believe, Kings Mountain. And then West Lincoln will be number 11 there in your top 10. So we'll get that updated and printed out for you next week. Still waiting on some final scores across the area. I'm going to get Chip to read these here in a few minutes. But like Steve, you look you and Will, y'all ain't been here too long. Comments, thoughts on any other games or anything else in the area as far as these scores or any surprise? That West Lincoln overtime game.
That's the game that surprised me, that West Lincoln let Fred T. Ford stay in the game that long. And after they had ran for all those yards last week, I don't know exactly what happened.
It might have been tied.
I don't know. The running back, I don't know. Did he play? I ain't heard nothing about it. Did he play, or did they rest him, or what happened? But that's what happens when you underestimate an underdog, because them Fred T. Ford kids, they want to win too. They practicing. They really, really want to win. And I tell you what, Will, you know this for yourself. That's probably gonna motivate them. I would, if I was the team to play them next week, I wouldn't want to play them.
They've got a winnable game against North Iredale next week. We'll see if they can pull it off the Raiders.
Well, right now, let's all of us. Let's just count it done and hope they get a win.
Yeah, I know. You hate to see some school or team lose that many in a row.
Because I work with kids. And it's got to be heartbreaking and doing all that running and
correct.
Play some of the team where we ain't got a chance to win, but they come to practice every day anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So those kids they gotta have heart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing we're not gonna win, but we come here every day, work hard.
That's true. Yeah, Steve playing at smaller schools. A lot of times people. I appreciate you saying that. Will overlook or poo-poo those kids, and you don't forget, like, if they were on, say, Chris has got what? How many people's on your roster at Shelby? How many y'all got? 50, 60?
Yeah, maybe 56.
So Bestman Cheryl's got like 20, 25, and people don't think about that. And you guys and these big, and we've looked at it through the years. The teams that have 40, 50, 60 players are the teams that always end up winning, and that depth is huge. And people don't realize having played both ways, and the depth and injuries and all that. But we do have our nominees for our Player of the Week. Numbers Bookkeeping and Tax Service, 707 South Lafayette Street of Shelby, offers a Player of the Week award on our post-game show each week here on the Full Throttle Powersports post-game show. Noah K at Numbers is sponsoring Cleveland County Player of the Week. We're going to vote on them. I'm going to give you the stats here in a minute. We're going to vote and give you the MVP in our break. We ain't got much time left. Numbers will have a trophy made for each week's winner, and the end of the year winner will receive a $250 scholarship.
And by the way, what's the guy named Noah?
Noah K.
Noah
Numbers
K.
Bookkeeping.
He came to Shelby the other day and presented Christian with his plaque.
Okay, awesome. Well, Tristan was
awesome.
He's a Crest graduate. Was the Booster Club president for Burns, so we got it covered.
Got it covered. So I thought that was outstanding, and I don't know if Kristen Noid is gonna get it, but he just put that pretty $1 million smile on. And I thought that was real classy for him to bring it to the school.
Well, Tristan was nominated again this week as your guys' player of the week. Tristan Tate, 56 yards rushing, 54 yards receiving, and a touchdown in both. So you guys try to remember this.
Actually had 2 touchdowns. He had 1 running and 1
Right. He had 56 rushing and a touchdown and 54 receiving and a touchdown. So Tristan Tate is our Shelby Golden Lion nominee for Cleveland County Player of the Week. Michael Edwards is the Crest nominee, the wide receiver. He had 1 of 39 yards and the other of 20. Brent says he had him down for 106 total yards receiving. So Michael Edwards, 106 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Tristan Tate, 56 yards rushing and a touchdown, 54 yards receiving and a touchdown. Almost the exact same numbers, 2 touchdowns and 110 receiving yards to add it together, 106 and 110. And then Marshall McGowan is going to be our Cleveland or our Burns nominee. 46 rushing yards, 166 passing yards with 2 rushing touchdowns. So those are nominees for Player of the Week. I'm going to let you guys think about that for a minute. I'm going to get y'all's vote while I'm going to make Chip read the scores. I'm going to go around the room getting everyone's vote.
Again, I'm eliminated.
And then they have a guy from Kings Mountain.
I don't have a nominee from Kings Mountain, so if any Kings Mountain fans want, Tom didn't send me anybody, but if anybody wants to nominate them, they can. But go ahead. I want to give Chip, turn it over here to
maybe that big number 15
the
he was
scores.
talking about.
Yeah. So Chip, the Red Ones, of course, are not finals yet. So good luck there, boss. We'll turn it over to Chip, and I'm gonna get y'all's vote. Yeah, we'll go ahead and read them. Okay.
More.
Did not play. That's a few weeks.
Okay, we got you. I'm gonna run down and do the ones that have not been that we do not have finals on yet. So the scores in red very quickly. At this point, TC Robertson, not Roberson, is shutting out Smoky Mountain. Y'all kill me with your pronunciations. Robertson shutting down Smoky Mountain right now, 35-0. Franklin up big on Swain, 35-7 currently. Stuart Kramer squeaking out of the lead against East Gaston, 25-24. We don't have a final on that yet. Hendersonville up on East Henderson, 40-6. Don't have a final on that yet. My Clyde Irwin Warriors up on Brevard, 56-42. We do not have a final on that yet. I couldn't find a final score for that anywhere. And as Kevin just mentioned, the Community School of Davidson Spartans and Corvian Community Cardinals, that game was not played this evening. It's been rescheduled for a couple of weeks, I believe, is what Kevin said. And those are the games that are either in process or never started. So let's look at our final scores as we run down the list. In Cleveland County, Crest over Shelby, 27-14. Kings Mountain over Burns, 41-20. Moving on, Freedom defeats Forest View 26-7. Ashbrook shuts out West Meck 18-0. Providence over Hunter Huss 56-27. Statesville 6, South Iredell 0. Murphy defeats West Henderson 36-33. Tuscola over McDowell 28-6. West Charlotte shuts out Cox Mill 41-0. Alexander Central defeats North Iredell 28-19. Moving over to the next row, West Lincoln continues their winning streak against Ford, 27-21. It's 2 games. I don't know if you call that a winning streak, but anyway, East, or did they win week 1? It might be 3. But East Lincoln defeats Lincolnton 52-14. Randleman over Bunker Hill, 35-21. East Rutherford wins big over Newton Conover, 62-15. RS Central scores 52. Wilkes Central 20. High Brighton defeats West Caldwell 38-8. Ashe County 20, West Wilkes 15. East Wilkes shuts out North Wilkes 49-0. Watauga defeats Maiden 24-13. Blacksburg defeats Cherryville in the fight of the night 48-12. Bessemer City defeats Avery 42-17. Highland Tech 2-0 defeats Beaufort, South Carolina 8-7. Blue Ridge, South Carolina Tigers defeat Polk 42-36. Thomas Jefferson shuts out the South Carolina Spartans 21-0. South Lake Christian Eagles 21, Mountain Island Raptors 10. Lake Norman Charter Knights 24, Christ the King Crusaders 21. East Burke defeats Drawn 12-7. In our baseball score of the night, Andrews defeats Hayesville 7-2. Andrews wins and still has a safety scored against him. Mountain Heritage 28, Robbinsville 13, and Starmount shuts out Forbush 48-0. And that's a rundown of our scores. Hand it back over to the chief.
Let's see. We got a few minutes left. All right. Chip, who's your vote for player of the week? They're on it.
Oh.
They are on it. So next week, guys, on the broadcast, we're going to have, let's see, Chesney at RS Central, North Gaston at Cherryville, North Lincoln at East Rutherford, Alexander Central at Burns, Charlotte Catholic at Crest, and then the Shelby Golden Lions will be going to Olympic to face the Trojans. All right, Chip, got a vote? And I didn't get any. Oh, Will did. Everybody's going with that one. Okay, so our MVP this week is going to be wide receiver from Crest, Mr. Michael Edwards, 106 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns is our Noah K. Numbers Bookkeeping Player and Tax Service Player of the Week, 707 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Noah K. at Numbers is sponsoring the Cleveland County Player of the Week. Going to give away $250 to the Player of the Year at the end of the year and a trophy each week to the Player of the Week. I want to thank Steve Gree for coming in, Dennis Davis, Will Boykins, Chip Carter, John Prather, Calvin Hastings, and more. Everybody else that did come in and call tonight. You like that? Jonathan Prather. Johnny Prather. That's how you need to say it. Johnny Pray.
Well, fellas, I'll just call y'all on my way back from Olympic next week.
Okay.
Well, matter of fact, I think it's a 7 o'clock game start, so I can make it back.
That'll be good.
Because I think all Charlotte schools to start theirs at 7.
That's a good idea for them. All right, folks, we're that's gonna do it for the broadcast.
Why'd you go down Charlotte Mickle?
Because I'm just saying because of all the travel. Everything is 40 minutes across town.
Yeah.
Like no. I used to live there, and like it was closer to drive to this studio than it was to my friend's house, where we both had Charlotte addresses.
Right.
And so I was like, I don't know, it's wild. So yeah, that's where I was going.
You can see where you're going, but you can't get there.
Yeah. All right, folks, we got to go. We'll be back next week. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Chosen breed, you don't see